My experience has been great here at Weatherford College.
I like the convenience of the location.
It's been great working and going to school both at the same time.
The staff has been very helpful for my education.
All right, we're with Coach Pete Hart here right in the heart of the Dragon Lair in the gymnasium here today because we've got some special guests that we're going to talk about. Coach, this is our wrap-up show. Our Coach's Corner features with you each week. Have really painted a picture of some of the woes and some of the problems that you've had to deal with your team throughout the year. And you've made the adjustments that you needed to make, and you guys have stepped up. And in the last game of the season, they made a valiant effort and actually scored more points than for the whole rest of the season. So they were really putting their hearts in it, were they not?
Yeah, they were. It's been kind of a frustrating year. A lot of the frustration stems from things that we can't control. We had some kids quit. We had some kids that became academically ineligible. We had some other discipline issues that we had to deal with during the course of the season. Our original roster of 23 dropped to 13 the week before we started district play. And, the UIL frowns on high schools canceling their varsity seasons, and I didn't think it was fair to really even try it because we had 6 seniors that had been with us all year that did what they were supposed to do, and they deserve a chance to play.
Absolutely. So you're just decision time.
It was decision time. We had a really good JV team made up of about, 25, 26 sophomores and freshmen. At the break, they were 3-1-1 going into district play, and we felt real confident that they could probably run the table in district. I went to a group of young men and asked them if they would help us on the varsity. I didn't force any of them to. I just basically said, if you guys would like to play on varsity, this is your opportunity. And if you tell me no, then I won't force you. And we would have tried to play a district schedule with 13 kids. This group of young men behind me, sophomores and freshmen, volunteered to play. These guys stepped up all year, especially in district. We were actually pretty competitive. The problem is when you start throwing a lot of sophomores and freshman boys out on a varsity field against District 9-2A, it's going to be a struggle. And these guys played really hard. They did some great things for us. A lot of times they were physically outmatched at their position just because of their size and strength. And for the most part, they weren't ready to play varsity football, but they did. And it's a tribute to their love of the game of football and their pride. And we actually went out in our district, and we were very competitive. And I'm real proud of these guys, real proud of our seniors because, it was their senior year, and it was very disappointing for them. But they led these young guys in a very positive way for the most part and played hard. And all of our boys played hard this year. And so, as disappointing as this year ended up being, I'm real proud of these guys that played for us, and we look forward to the future because we have a lot of good young kids coming.
So basically, the upperclassmen that stepped up to the bar when you put the question to them, represented by this group of guys right here.
Yes, we ended up with, and we had 3 get hurt that didn't play the whole season, upperclassmen. So, when you're left with 8 or 9 seniors and juniors, someone has to lead the freshmen and the sophomores. And the seniors showed up every day for the most part and worked real hard, set a great example for these young guys. And when we combined together the character of the seniors with the talent and the heart and desire of these young guys and put them out there on the field, our scores for the most part in district, with the exception of Boyd, in the first half, we were close with everybody. But, missing players and playing a lot of young guys, we didn't have a lot of backups in our skill positions. And so as the game went on, we became more fatigued. The physical mismatches became more evident, and we would tend to get tired and worn out in the fourth quarter. And then you end up with the score that was 13-0 at half becomes a score of 33-0 at the end of the game. Jacksboro Friday night, our kids went to war. We made some mistakes early, and they scored 27 points in the first quarter, but the final score was 46-22. which tells me that for 3/4 of football, the Dragons outplayed the Tigers. And a lot of it was a tribute to these young guys. They're having to play receiver positions, running back positions, some offensive line positions. And, I just got through watching the film, and I'm going to tell you right now, some of these guys sitting behind us took a pretty good beating from some seniors physically Friday night, but they kept getting up and jumping back into the midst of the battle. And, again, that's just a tribute to the way these guys play football, and we're real honored to have them in our program.
Well, super. Let's let these guys introduce themselves. I mean, they're sitting here patiently listening to us chatter. Let's hear from them. Just introduce yourselves so folks out there will know who we got here.
Israel Espinoza, number 58, sophomore, linebacker, offensive line.
All righty.
Saban Williams, number 52, sophomore, offensive line, defensive line.
Super. And just to lean in here.
Victor Velasquez, number 25, sophomore, running back.
Great. And you?
Clint Conley, number 12, sophomore, wide receiver, defensive back.
Okay, doke.
Gabriel Rohan, number 85, sophomore, wide receiver and defensive end.
And you?
Brian Potomi, freshman, wide receiver, number 24, and defensive back.
You got to be proud of them. They all remembered their names.
Well, as you experienced before we started this interview, they're a fun bunch. But when it's time to get serious, these guys get serious. And, again, just real honored to have them in our program. Real proud of our upperclassmen, but I wanted everybody to get to see the faces of the young guys that we put out there this year. And there's one that's not even here today. There should have been 7 of them. But, I think it's important for people to see these guys because when you get to see them without their pads on and see what they physically look like, you have to appreciate the way that they play the game of football.
Yeah, they really stepped up. And congratulations to you guys. You got some experience this year that you wouldn't have gotten had the circumstances been differently. So you look on the bright side of it. But as Coach said, he's really proud of you, and I can certainly understand why.
I think it's important when we look at these young men to understand they had a chance to play on a JV that would have had a great winning record. And they chose we didn't coerce them. A lot of people thought that, I was making them. Basically, I just asked them. And they knew that the varsity needed help. And they put aside their own interest in winning JV games to come up and help out the upperclassmen. And what that tells me is we have a group of young men, a group of seniors who the young guys respected enough to come play with them and to help them, and a group of young guys that have enough pride in themselves to know that it was going to be a struggle every Friday night for them. And yet they still went out, and I can't think of a single one of them that didn't get hit real hard in the 5 games that we played in district. But each time they got back up and jumped right back in the middle of the game and really played their hearts out for us. And, again, we're honored as a coaching staff to have guys like this that are willing to put aside their own self-interest to help the team effort. And that's what builds a program for you.
Well, and I appreciate you very much, bringing these guys on for the feature, for our wrap-up feature for Coach's Corner with the Dragons for this year. And it really helps give the folks some insight into some things you went through and why you're as proud as you are.
Well,
under the circumstances.
Well, under the circumstances, and it's been happening for several years, a lot of things out of our control. But when we talk to these young men, we talk to them about when we walk off the field, we're going to walk off knowing that we've played our hardest and we've done all we can to win the football game. And there wasn't a time this year that I didn't walk off the field proud of the effort that our young men put out there. And, it is about winning, but it's more than just about winning in high school athletics. And the character and the pride that our guys showed this year on the field, the desire that these young guys and the effort that they put out, that's what it's really about. And, without a doubt, the future of our football program is in great hands with these young guys coming.
Terrific. Congratulations to you, Coach Hart, on a season, a tough season, but one where you made the best of it and a lot of reason to be proud. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
See you next year on Coach's Corner.